So I'm going to share one story um, about the Alabama School of Math and Science. One thing that I really learned there, and this is the intersection of faith and that intersection of achievement, and a really valuable lesson that I learned. So during my junior year at Alabama School of Math and Science, I got introduced to things that I didn't really wasn't introduced to when I was in the projects. One of those was tennis. I love sports, and I remember my coaches at Piedmont saying, "When are you going off to smart school, or you're going to give up this sports potential?" And I'm like, "I don't have much potential. I'm a little scrawny kid, but I love sports, and I was, fairly good." So I picked up tennis for the first time when I was there. I also picked up chess, which was really exciting for me. Good friend of mine, Sanjay, was a great chess player. His coach was the highest rated chess player in Alabama, and so I got to learn a lot in that scenario. My roommate at ASMS, the Alabama School of Math and Science, was Curtis Miller, who grew up on Ponderosa Bible Camp. And I had become a Christian during, after my dad had passed, and really just after learning a lot at the church there. And he challenged me to come and spend the entire summer at Ponderosa Bible Camp as a junior counselor. And so for me, I'd had a pretty successful run at learning tennis and chess and other things, and I had some goals and ambitions for my senior year of things that I really wanted to get accomplished, and I was going to use the time that summer to prepare for those things. But Curtis kind of convinced me that let's serve and let's sacrifice this summer and be a junior counselor. Only problem with being a junior counselor was that you had to pay for the right to be a counselor at this camp, and it was like $600, which is a lot of money. So Curtis said, "Well, if you come a few weeks earlier, we've got a friend, and they've got a job you can do." I was like, "Okay, let's do that." This is the only time I had this job, and I'm thankful that it's the last time. But I had an opportunity to go up and clean horse stalls for 2 weeks to earn enough money to be a junior counselor at this camp. And I'm going to tell you, I was not prepared for the level of poop that horses put out. The first 3 days was torture. I was just throwing up everywhere, all over the place. But we got all those stalls cleaned out for those 2 weeks, and I got the chance to ride horses for the first time there. And we had a great summer. I was junior counselor at this camp. Really got to work with youth from all over. Hundreds of youth would come each week to this camp. It was great. I grew in my faith. It was wonderful. But at the end of the summer, in all of my wisdom, I prayed for 5 very specific things that I felt God kind of owed me because I had sacrificed this summer. I'm going to tell you all 5 of them. I prayed, one, that we would win the city championship in basketball, and that I would be captain of the team. That I would be the number 1, number 2 tennis player. That I would be the number 1 or number 2 chess player on the team. And that we would win the state championship. I prayed that I will make the Hall of Fame at ASMS. Only 5 students or so made the Hall of Fame. It was a big honor, and that was one of my goals and my ambitions. And the last one was to kiss a girl, because at this point I hadn't even kissed a girl yet. So those were the 5 things I prayed for. And so here we are. We went through my senior year, and I was just so sure that I was going to get all 5 of these things. And so one by one, here we go. So it just turned out that year that I just became a better tennis player, and next thing you know, I was the number 1 or number 2 tennis player all throughout that year, and it was a lot of fun. Ended up as the number 1, number 2 chess player on our team, and we did win the state championship, and we even went to Super Nationals and competed against the best chess players in all of the nation. We got our butts whooped, but it was a great experience. And I was captain of our basketball team. And in the semifinals game of the city championship, I started out hot. I scored 11 points right away. And somehow we ended up losing that game. And I got back to the dorms, and I was just devastated. Because to me, all 5 of these things had to happen. I mean, I prayed. They were supposed to happen. And I was pretty devastated. Well, 2 days later, the basketball coach came and said, hey, we got to get together for practice. I'm like, practice? The season's over. We lost in the semifinals. He's like, well, actually, it turned out I got a call, and the team we played had an ineligible player on their team. And so they had to forfeit the game. So now we're in the championship. And so that's what happened. We ended up going to the championship game and winning that game, and we won the city championship. 3 for 3 so far. And actually, I ended up making it to the Hall of Fame as well. And that was very exciting. I actually got a chance to speak at our graduation. It was a little bit different at our school because everybody was kind of so smart that they didn't give the valedictorian and salutatorian an opportunity to speak because we didn't really calculate grades that way. We had to audition, and so I was able to even speak at graduation. And yes, I did kiss a girl, one girl, during that time. And I vowed after that, Lord, I only want to kiss one more person. I want that to be my wife, because that was, it was a little much. And so that actually turned out to be true as well. I only kissed one more person, and that's been my wife, Deborah, who's the love of my life. So all 5 of those things happened, and I felt so good about it. And about 6 months after graduation, I'm in college, and a friend, someone that I considered a friend from ASMS, gave me a call, come visit them. And I went and I visited this person, and they said that the time at ASMS was the worst time of their life. That their dad, who was a prominent doctor in the town, had forced them to go to the school. And I was like, what do you mean? You know, this person said I didn't have any real friends. No one really knew me, and I was very lonely during my time at ASMS. It was at that moment, and I was like, wasn't I there for you? And they said, not really, when I really needed it. And at that very moment, I would have traded all 5 of those things, all 5 of those things that I so desperately thought that I wanted, for one more day to impact one more life, for something that mattered more than awards and names on plaques.